In the heart of Mecca, the Kaaba stands as a symbol of unity and devotion for millions of Muslims around the world. This sacred structure, draped in a black cloth adorned with gold calligraphy, has witnessed countless historical events and remains a focal point for Islamic pilgrimage. However, in a dramatic turn of events, the Kaaba was almost burnt down, sending shockwaves through the global Muslim community. The attempted destruction of this revered monument not only posed a threat to its physical existence, but has also stirred emotions. In this video, we will explore the details of this tragic event and its potential consequences. The Kaaba, located in the heart of the Masjid al-Haram in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, is the most sacred site in Islam. It is the direction Muslims face when praying and is considered the spiritual center of the religion. This sacred site has been in existence for over 1,400 years. Imagine the Kaaba engulfed in flames, the shock and horror of millions of believers around the world. The consequences of such an event would be catastrophic, not only for the physical structure, but also for the spiritual and emotional well-being of Muslims. The Kaaba holds immense historical significance, as it is believed to have been constructed by the Islamic prophet Abraham and his son Ishmael. This belief is based on the Islamic tradition, which holds that Abraham and Ishmael were the ones who built the Kaaba as the first structure ever built for the worship of one God, Allah. Over the centuries, the Kaaba has undergone several restorations and reconstructions, but its significance remains unchanged. The destruction of the Kaaba would not only be a physical loss, but also a deep emotional and spiritual one for Muslims worldwide. For Muslims worldwide, the Kaaba holds deep spiritual and emotional significance. It is considered the center of the world and symbolizes unity among Muslims. The act of facing towards the Kaaba during daily prayers underscores its central role in Islamic worship. The annual pilgrimage to Mecca, known as the Hajj, is a fundamental pillar of Islam and involves circumambulating the Kaaba as part of the rituals. For many Muslims, visiting the Kaaba is a lifelong dream and a deeply spiritual experience. The Kaaba also holds cultural importance for Muslims. Its history is intertwined with key events in Islamic history, including the life of Prophet Muhammad. The preservation of the Kaaba is not only about safeguarding a physical structure, but also about protecting centuries of tradition, heritage, and religious significance. The destruction of the Kaaba would have profound repercussions for Muslims worldwide. It would result in an irreparable loss, not only in terms of a physical structure but also in terms of spiritual and emotional significance. The Hajj pilgrimage, which draws millions of Muslims to Mecca each year, would be fundamentally altered. The absence of the Kaaba would leave a void at the heart of Islamic worship and communal identity. The Kaaba, being the focal point of the annual Hajj pilgrimage, is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, which every Muslim is required to perform at least once in their lifetime if they can afford it. The pilgrimage is a spiritual journey that brings millions of Muslims from around the world to Mecca, seeking forgiveness, purification, and unity. The preservation and protection of the Kaaba is of utmost importance for the Islamic community, as it represents the spiritual center of Islam and the unity of all Muslims. If the Kaaba were to catch fire or be destroyed, it would not only disrupt the Hajj, but also undermine the very essence of the pilgrimage. The Kaaba is not only a physical structure, but also a symbol of submission to Allah. Its destruction would challenge the very foundations of Islamic theology and belief. Muslims would be forced to grapple with the question of whether their faith is still valid without the physical presence of the Kaaba. This could lead to a crisis of faith and a widespread loss of spiritual guidance for millions of believers. Its destruction would not only be a physical loss, but also a deep emotional and spiritual one for the Islamic community, as it would shatter their connection to their religious and cultural heritage. The emotional impact of such an event would be immense, as the Kaaba is not only a physical structure but also a symbol of unity, faith, and devotion for Muslims around the globe. The destruction of the Kaaba would have far-reaching consequences for Islamic society. It would lead to widespread fear, anxiety, and uncertainty among Muslims worldwide. This event could potentially spark violent reactions and social unrest, as people struggle to come to terms with the loss of their most sacred site. It could also lead to a rift between different Islamic sects, as they grapple with the implications of such an event on their faith and beliefs. It would likely lead to unrest, violence, and even warfare as different factions and nations fought to protect and rebuild the sacred site. This could potentially destabilize the entire region, with far-reaching implications for global peace and security. During the Hajj pilgrimage, a shocking event unfolded when a man threw petrol on the Kaaba, the central structure of the ground mosque. According to reports, a man threw petrol on the Kaaba, almost causing a fire that could have potentially destroyed the sacred site. The man, driven by unknown motives, was bound to set the Kaaba ablaze. Reports say that he was surrounded by a large group of people, which made it difficult for him to carry out the task, as he was caught almost immediately. The Saudi Arabian authorities initiated a thorough investigation to determine the motives behind the attack and the identity of the perpetrator. The process of identifying and capturing the perpetrator involved extensive surveillance footage analysis, eyewitness accounts, and coordination among security personnel. The investigation into the incident began by reviewing CCTV footage from the area. This crucial piece of evidence played a significant role in identifying the suspect and ultimately led to his arrest. The footage provided clear images of the man responsible for the incident, which enabled the authorities to identify him as Mohammed Nagi al-Amri, a 42-year-old Sudanese national. Investigators discovered that al-Amri had a history of mental illness and had been suffering from a psychotic episode at the time of the attack. It was determined that his actions were not politically motivated or part of any terrorist plot. The investigation into the incident also revealed inadequacies in the security measures at the holy site. This raised concerns about the effectiveness of current security protocols and the need for enhanced measures to prevent future attacks. In order to address these concerns, it is important to analyze the existing security measures at the holy site and identify any gaps that may have contributed to the incident. Following his arrest, the individual was subjected to legal proceedings in accordance with Saudi Arabian law. Due to the gravity of his actions and the significance of the site targeted, it is likely that he faced severe consequences under both criminal and religious laws. The Saudi judicial system would have been responsible for ensuring that justice was served in this case. While the incident did not result in the destruction of the Kaaba, it brought to light the need for increased security measures at the holy site and the potential for violence in the name of religion. This incident could have had far-reaching consequences for Islam, particularly in terms of its image and the trust that followers place in the religion. The incident involving al-Amri has prompted discussions on the potential for similar incidents in the future. While it is difficult to predict the likelihood of such events, it is essential to consider the factors that contributed to this specific incident and the potential for others to be influenced by it. It is also essential for Islamic leaders and communities to address and condemn such acts of violence and to promote a message of peace, tolerance, and unity. The incident serves as a reminder of the need for vigilance in the face of potential threats to religious sites and the importance of fostering a sense of unity and love among believers. This event has left many wondering about the circumstances surrounding it and the implications it has on the Muslim community. People all around the world have expressed anger over this incident. People are still clueless as to why a person would do such a horrible thing. The Saudi security have also been criticized for letting people enter into mosque without being thoroughly searched. The potential destruction of the Kaaba is an unthinkable tragedy that would have profound and far-reaching consequences for Islam as a whole. The physical, religious, political, and social implications of such an event would be immense, testing the faith and unity of Muslims around the world. The preservation and protection of the Kaaba are of utmost importance to ensure the continued spiritual well-being of the Islamic community and the stability of the region.